Morning, cousin. Welcome to our collective divination ceremony brought to you by the Unbound Witches of Bright and Dark. My name is Jen Marie. Your altar crew for the day is myself, and we have Sarsaparilla and Ocean on the back end working the mod role today. And before I get started, I want to check in with them to see if there are any voice of God announcements for the day. So, are there any voice of God announcements today?
Yes, there are, Jen Marie. Hello, everybody. This is Sarsaparilla, and I'm very excited to be the voice of God today. This week at the Resource Center, we have Sass Mass on Sunday. This is a spirituality and support symposium where we have connective conversations in the community. And there is no set topic, so bring your questions. Again, that's Sunday at 11 Pacific time, 2 Eastern time. We have Magic Moves on Wednesday, which is a 45-minute movement offering from the Unbound. This class is designed to wake up the body, lift the spirit, and connect us as a community. That's Wednesday morning. I don't have the times written down here, so I'll have to apologize for that. I think it's at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, we have the live grimoire reading with a Q&A session to follow. Jen Marie will read from the grimoire, and then members of the Unbound Coven will take questions. You'll find the virtual events in our free app at community.brightanddark.org. Back to you, Jen Marie.
I absolutely love this new setup that we have for going live. It is so incredibly amazing. It looks so professional, and I wouldn't necessarily use that word to describe us because we're so freaking feral for most of the time we are. And so, like, this is a good look on us. It's a good look on us, and I appreciate everything that went into and continues to go into what this is and how we bring this to you. I I really hit the ground running today, and usually as an oracle, I wake up and there's some kind of message in the day. It just starts coming. And today there seems to be like so much coming through that it's really hard to like, you know, pin it down as to like what the messaging is beyond what we've been getting for several months about this choice point that we have, this decision that we need to make, this decision about what we actually want our lives to look like, as like opposed to what we have been made to believe is what we have to accept, right? This like we can continue to accept that there is only one way to live and we have to participate in that way or we will be miserable, or the frack all that, I'm gonna do it myself and do it my own way kind of dynamic. So I'm really curious as to what we're going to be picking up on this morning, as far as how do we narrow that down into like a daily practice. How do we integrate that into our day, right? So, what I'm going to do, what I do to get my system prepared for divination, and you're welcome to follow along. If you don't have your own practice for this, I would highly suggest that if you are going to continue to come to these live divination ceremonies, that you create a practice to get your system prepared for divination that is unique to yourself, that is meaningful to you. If you're like, I would rather just like follow along with what you're doing, you're welcome to. My practice tends to be radically inclusive due to the nature of the work that I do. Are we ready? If at any time you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask them in the comments. And one of the members of the Unbound will answer your question or direct you to where you can get additional resources. We have a lot. We have so many free and public resources available at this point. You have no excuse at all to not engage. It's on you at this point, is what I'm saying. so there. All right. I'm going to start by taking 3 deep breaths, then I'm going to get into it. The question that we are asking is, where does our attention need to be today in order to bring the most expansion in our relationship with our life and our practice? Man, I just like have the most wildly inappropriate things go through my head so much. I generally don't pump the brakes like in real life, but when I'm live like this, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't say that. And now I bet you guys are dying to know what it was I was just thinking about. It had to do with a mouthful. I humbly invite all that is fire within this system, to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is air within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is earth within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is water within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I beckon to this system. May we now align as one. For my cousins are the elements, and so the moon and sun. I call to those who love me. You are welcome in this space. For our nature is united, sharing magic, life, and grace. And now we make a declaration of intention. What are we doing? Why do we call everyone here? I choose now in this moment to align with my whole self, to pull the book that tells my story from its place upon the shelf. I enter now this circle made of trust and hope and power. And I show up for my practice in this place and at this hour. Because I am home. I am also covered in cat fur. So that's a whole thing. So one of the cool things about this setup is that I know you can't see the mods, but I can. And I find that I keep like looking at them to see if my jokes are landing. And I'm not getting a reaction. So sorry about that. I must be off today. I think I'm hilarious. Just so you know. I don't think that the cat hair on my face is hilarious. Oh, I found it. Sweet relief. Sensory processing disorder for the win, man. I just can't. I can't. And you'd think that I would stop like kissing on Baxter. He's right there at the edge of my bed. You can't see him. Right before the live. But I do it. I do it every single time, and I regret it every single time. What is the definition of insanity? This right here. Good morning, witches. All right, grab your decks and spread them, witches. Let's do this. How will my guides hand my ass to me today? Kitty makeout sesh. Exactly. Like, he's gorgeous. Of course, I'm going to be all in that. All right. Where does our attention need to be today in order to bring the most expansion in our relationship with our life and our practice? I am using the Tarot-torial deck by Raven and Rogue. This is not a sponsored thing. I just really love their deck. This is a 2-card draw. Card on the top of the deck represents where our attention needs to be. The card on the bottom of the deck represents what we're in resistance to or in denial of that's actually blocking our shit. Okay. Now, full disclosure, I have one card in my deck that is creased. One in the whole deck that's creased. I've used this deck probably 1,000 times, and I'm not exaggerating since I got it. So I know what this card is because it's creased. But I'm going to pretend like I don't know for a moment as I put on my glasses and build anticipation for what card did we draw? I know. The King of Wands upright. This is the card we drew. And as my camera gets its shit together, you'll see that there are prompts all over this card. I'm going to read those prompts and try real hard not to influence your initial interpretation of what this card means. Then I'm going to let you brew on that for a minute, and then I will influence you, okay? It's really important as you're repairing your relationship with your intuition to prioritize the information that you're getting from your intuition. Give yourself a little respect. Okay. The King of Wands is a natural-born leader of people and very capable and confident in their abilities. The king isn't interested in creativity per se, but rather taking an idea and enlisting others to help in the actualization of it. You have a clear vision of what you want. And then the reversed is, why don't we tug on those reins a bit, huh? You're being brash and abrasive, and your impulsive behavior is about to get you into trouble. There's certainly nothing wrong with knowing what you want, but you're towing the line of selfishness, and it's getting a bit out of control. Reel it in. What is the first thing that comes up as I'm reading this to you? And it's Raven and Rogue, like going rogue. It's Raven and Rogue, territorial. What does this mean to you? What's the first thing that comes up? You don't have to necessarily put it in the comments, but I would love it if you do. Like that would be awesome. Of what your interpretation is. There is no wrong thing to say. If my reading this reminds you of like the Teletubbies when you were a kid, like great, that's great information, right? Because your guides speak to you through your memories, through songs, through TV shows sometimes. It depends on how your system is connected to your guidance, okay? Anything that comes up is important. What's interesting for me about this card, are you ready for me to influence you? Are you done brewing? Have I let you brew long enough? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. What's interesting about this card is it feels like this isn't talking about us. It's not talking about us. It's talking about our relationship with someone we see as the King of Wands, right? Is there someone in your life that that seems to have a very clear vision of what they want, and they are enlisting others to help them actualize that in your world? Like this could be politicians, this could be your boss, this could be, you know, someone you're working with in the theater, I don't know, but someone who is clearly in this like leadership kind of role, an authority kind of role that is influencing you somehow, right? This could be like I don't like using the words positive and negative because but what is your relationship with working with people that have a clear vision of what they want, whether they're good at enlisting others to help in the actualization of it, or whether they're tyrannical about it. When you are in those group dynamics, what is your relationship with that guy? Right? And that guy could be you also. That tends to be me in most like dynamics. Just because, you know, my giftings and the way that I am, I tend to gravitate toward those kinds of roles, which isn't bad or wrong if that's you as well. If it's not you and you're like, yeah, I do not want to be that guy, what is your relationship with that guy? Right? Male authority is the first thing you came up with, Claire. Right? Right? You know, what is the difference too? Right? I know the difference, but I'm asking you to explore this, to like dig in and really look at your relationship with that dynamic, right? There is a group thing. There's something that you want, a bigger picture something, but you either don't want to be that guy, or you know you have to work with that guy in order to get that your vision off. Is this a collective vision that is requiring collaboration in some way? Are you going to be that guy, or do you need to find that guy? Do you need to find someone that is their gifting? Right? There's something about whatever it is that you are wanting to bring into the world that is going to require collaboration. And even in a non-hierarchical dynamic, there is still roles within that, right? And sometimes we are in resistance to stepping into those roles because we have trauma related to it, and we've engaged with fucking assholes, and we're like, I don't ever want to be in a position to where I have to be that guy. But if your calling requires you to be that guy, we got to look at that trauma. We got to look at your relationship with that. Is it genuinely not your nature to like tell others what to do, essentially? Or is it trauma, a trauma response? Our guides have a knack for bringing into our lived experience catalyst that pushes our edges, that gives us an opportunity to look at this trauma, an opportunity to be able to heal, reintegrate, or to engage with our life from a more authentic and sincere place. Okay. And right now, this group dynamics is a whole thing. Okay. And even if you're like, yeah, I know that what I want to bring into this world is going to require more than just me, as much as my trauma hates to admit it, it's going to require a little bit of teamwork. Start working on your relationship with teamwork now, before this thing actually comes into your life, so that you're prepared. You see what I'm saying? That's the benefits of having foresight or inside information, is that you can be prepared for when it does happen, because it's happening. You can't do this alone. I mean, I am not one to tell a neurodivergent witch they can't do something, because I know full well that you can. But to do this in a sustainable way where you're not fracking burnt out afterward, there's going to be teamwork involved. All right, so now we got to look at what we're in resistance to or in denial of, that is blocking our stuff, or blocking our ability to actually engage with this clearly. The 7 of Wands upright. So many wands and swords in our readings lately. So I'm going to read the prompt. Okay. You're struggling on your journey. You may have just reached an important milestone, but naysayers are trying to knock you back and or causing you to prove yourself. Hold your ground no matter what, because you know you've got this, and don't dare let anyone tell you otherwise. And the reversed position of this is others and their competitive natures have left you feeling vulnerable and inadequate. Questions about your decisions and choices leave you overwhelmed by the judgment of others. You may want to back down and give up, but you know you're stronger than that. You fought way too hard to be where you are. 7 of Wands upright is what we're in resistance to or in denial of actively that we need to address. I'm letting you brew. Yeah, the wands are popping today. Got wands all over the place. Swords and wands, people. Jeez. Okay. So okay, you ready for me to influence you? So we know logically that, naysayers are going to be a thing in our lives, right? Not everyone's going to agree with the decisions that we make. And there's when asked about the influence of others, we knee-jerk reactions say, it doesn't matter what other people say. I know what I know. That's what we were trained to say, but that's not the truth of how we actually feel, right? We just believe that that's the right response when we get naysayers. We think that that's the right response, right? So it feels like that's where the resistance or denial is. You're in denial of the fact that what other people are saying is influencing you. It is hitting you. You are in this position of wait a minute, am I crazy? Is this really what I should be doing? Right. And the thing that comes to mind is that saying that I'm going to misquote the shit out of this, by the way. I'm sorry about that curse word. Y'all are going to have to bleep out later. I just made more work for you. I'm sorry. Anyway, what is it? Those who are dancing look crazy to those who can't hear the music, right? You look absolutely freaking out of your mind. And that's kind of what this feels like, is that you getting to the point that of acceptance that they're naysayers because they can't hear the music. They don't see what you see. They don't feel what you, they don't have access to the data that you have when you made the decision to pursue whatever it is that you are pursuing. It's something important. It's something that's going to require you to enlist others And that's real, real hard when there's so many people that cannot hear the music. What you're looking for is people that can hear the music, because there are people that hear the music. There are. You just got to put yourself out there in a different way to different people. And when people are like, you're freaking crazy, you can be like, yep, I am. I'm going to go talk to someone else because they clearly can't hear the music. Okay. Being that confident in whatever your calling is important. Being okay with looking crazy, being okay that others don't agree with how you are making the decisions about what you're moving into is going to be key. Be okay with people not agreeing with what you're doing. Because again, they don't have access to the data that you have access to. And it's so important to remember that. Okay. It's so important. I'm kind of feeling into if there's more, but wait, is there more? Because that's quite a bit. That's very like, if you, okay, it's even more than that. Yeah, there is more here, because what you do with the naysayer information, how much you take that to heart. Like, yes, it's okay to want people to like agree with you. It's okay to like want to be seen, right? But you can't force yourself to be seen by people that don't have access to the data. Like, they're never going to see it. Okay. You surrounding yourself with people that can also hear the music is really important right now, because you constantly being bombarded with naysayers is a very, very heavy load to carry as you are bringing this thing into fruition. Right? Looking at the naysayers as like guideposts of where not to go would be helpful. Okay? Not everyone is going to disagree with you, especially if your guidance is like, hey, this is going to be a group effort thing. Your group is out there. You just got to find them, and you got to like figure out where you fit in that. Okay. So it is, and this like this word of protection about the Seven of Wands keeps coming up too, of like, it's your responsibility to kind of protect yourself and your mental well-being during this time. Because if you're like getting down to music that they can't hear and you stop dancing because they're making fun of you, like, that's a thing. Don't stop dancing. You're almost there. Don't stop dancing, is because you dancing is what's going to attract the others that can hear that music too. And chances are they are dancing and being mocked by themselves as well. And they're just waiting for someone else with that rhythm to dance with. Okay. Don't hide that freak flag. Now is not the time to do that. Now's the time to be okay with that. Be okay with looking real weird. Okay. This is a pokey reading. I get that. I get it. I do. And if you're like, man, I just want to dance with other people that can hear my goddamn music. We have SAS today. SAS, and the Voice of God announcements touched on it this before we got started. SAS is today. SAS is a spirituality and support symposium. It's a place where you can talk to other people and ask advice and get the perspective of witches from all over the world. And that's very helpful, especially in times like this. Okay. That was fun. All right, that's our reading for the day. That is our reading for the day. I will be back tomorrow morning at the same time with an altar crew to bring this reading to you again. I mean, hopefully not the same one. Hopefully not the same cards. If we get the same cards, we're clearly not listening. All right, let's close out this working. So hand on your heart, take a deep breath. This working is now closing, but the magic has just begun. I humbly thank the elements and both the moon and sun. To all who chose to bless this flow, I now sincerely thank you. May our practice be expansive and our course be clear and true. All right, witches. I will see you tomorrow. And until then, if you can't be good at it.